This man needs no introduction. Michael Jackson. The man is a legend. He made musical cinema. And this movie shows just how much he owned every studio he stepped into. But is this narrative too controlled? What are they not showing us? Are we getting the full picture? Let's get into this. Never was there a person in the history of pop music who had this big of an impact on his industry. He revolutionized it. Unless you were around in his era, it's hard to fathom the level of star power he had. This movie shows us his rise to becoming the king of pop and his journey toward the throne. At its core, this is a movie about music and family. But the music really takes center stage here, and the story of his family is the momentum that moves the film forward. Okay, let's make one thing clear straight away. The music was amazing. Just ask Rocky.
Thumbs up, baby.
They captured the essence of the spectacle that is Michael Jackson perfectly, and that was by far the movie's biggest strength. In fact, the best scenes were Michael creating the short films he became so famous for. The production scenes of Beat It and Thriller perfectly captured the sense of a musical virtuoso in the thick of his craft. Michael had a presence within the studio that made it clear this was his workshop, and everyone else was blessed to be within his space. It felt like every time he gave an instruction or had a thought of direction, everyone on set was just in awe of him and his creative process. And that was absolutely a joy to watch, because say what you want about the man, through his quirky personality or his strange behavior, he was simply profound, and that comes across perfectly in this movie. Jaafar Jackson, Michael's real-life nephew, plays Michael Jackson, and that gives the film a level of authenticity to its immersion. The man playing Michael not only looks like him, but he knew him on a personal level, and you just can't fake that. Jaafar would have seen sides to Michael that no one else could replicate. And that, combined with a stellar performance of Michael's unique style, meant that the immersion was solid. There was no suspension of disbelief needed. Jaafar is Michael's blood. There's just something about the Jackson DNA that makes that performance perfect. You're drawn into his journey, you believe his conflicts, and you feel every step of it. Colman Domingo gives a banging performance of Joseph Jackson, Michael's father. This film doesn't gloss over how much of a tyrant Joseph Jackson was. Joseph was portrayed as a man who pushed his sons to their breaking point and beyond. What's worse is it didn't feel like hard love. There was personal greed within his ambition. He used the success of his sons to further his own quality of life, regardless of the detriment to his sons' physical and mental health, and that's unforgivable. Parenting at its worst when you consider the form of discipline and manipulation this monster used on his own children. Joseph maneuvered himself to a position of ultimate authority within his family, and he did everything within his power to maintain that control. He made Michael the icon he became, but it came at a great cost to Michael, and we see all that he lost to get there, and just how far his father was willing to go to achieve his ambitions. Getting that level of insight to the genesis of Michael's life and career makes you understand what it takes to rise to the top, take the throne, and wear the crown. The problem is the film's story is evidently controlled by the Jackson estate. The original third act was going to address the 1993 allegations and the police raids on Michael's estate Neverland, but they wanted to control the narrative and show him more as a victim of a money grab and a media circus. However, a legal settlement from the 90s forbade the depiction of the accuser within any form of media, so the movie had to pivot. The estate spent $50 million to reshoot the entire third act, which ended up focusing on a completely different part of Michael's journey entirely. When you consider this and the depiction of Michael throughout the movie, it feels like a whitewash. Like every part of the journey shown was chosen to add to his legacy. Fine, the Jackson estate opened the archives, but they held the pen and governed the direction of the script, and that felt fake. The music pulls you in and shows you how much of a legend MJ truly was. He made cinematic stories for his music videos. Thriller was a genuine masterpiece, but this isn't the full story, and we all know it. And even if we did get to see it, it would have been a controlled depiction of the truth, with the goal of guiding the public's opinion towards the estate's version of the truth. Michael gets 7 out of 10 stars from the Hex Effect. This film is a homage to the incredible talent and amazing legacy of a man who changed the landscape of his industry entirely. His music will resonate with people for decades to come, but this isn't the whole truth. It's not even close. The movie is a box office giant, making truckloads of cash. By posthumously recreating Michael's image, the estate profits massively from this, and the rise in his musical sales for decades to come, and that leaves the film feeling a little bit empty. But fuck me sideways and call me Bubbles. The music was amazing. Here's to the king, long may he reign. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you. Please subscribe for more Hex Effect. I've been Hex. He's been the king of pop, and you've been legends. See you next time.